Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Black Desert Online video for console. So, for all of you who watch my videos, or just pay attention to what's going on in the game, you will know that we got Yahtzee. YAR. Yahtzee. Look, don't call it that. You're not allowed to call it that. The devs will get upset. I'm not even joking. So in today's video, you get to learn from the absolute bestest, kind of the best, probably number one. Look, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I'm going to show you how you can not only understand YAR and how to play it, but also come out winning with some gameplay strategies and some do's and don'ts when you're playing YAR. I really enjoy this game, and it definitely adds a different kind of element to Black Desert. It gives you something to do when you're feeling really lazy and you just want to AFK, play some cards with your friends, and get absolutely nothing out of it at all, except for the glory of winning and the ability to call yourself the #1 YAR player in your guild of 3 people. If you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to like, subscribe, or you will be cursed with terrible RNG and forever be at the mercy of the Black Spirit. With all that said and done, let's get into the video. Okay guys, so when you want to play YAR, basically what you want to do is you want to come down into your menu and you want to go into community, and then you want to come into YAR invite. So this is going to open up the intro screen where you get to see what's what and all the different types of game modes. Now in the center here, you've essentially got all of the different kind of hands that you can make. And I want to try and explain this to you so that you guys can understand it and you know exactly what you should be doing. So you can see here, bit of ones, bit of bunch of twos, lump of threes. But what does this mean? Well, when you're playing YAR, you've got essentially 6 cards, starting at ace up to 6. An ace is worth the least amount of points at a 1, 2 is worth a 2, 3 is worth a 3, 4 is worth a 4, 5 is worth a 5, and 6 is worth 6 points. So the bit of ones essentially just means how many aces can you get. The maximum aces you can make is 5, so the maximum points you could get for that hand would be 5. Bunch of twos is 2s, so the maximum points you could get for that hand is 10. And it goes the same for 3s, and it goes the same for 4s. We make our way down, clump of 5s, stack of 6s. After that, you've got chance. So chance essentially is like a backup plan. Now with chance, the goal of chance is to get the most amount of points by having the highest value cards you can put into there. But it's always a good idea to save this one until you absolutely need it, because sometimes when you're chasing a hand like a straight, it doesn't always go your way, and it's good to have this as a safety net in case you need to get some extra points when you miss out on your hand. Now, for those of you who play a bit of poker, you'll understand a lot of the next hands, and it's pretty straightforward to understand. You just got to figure out the names, and once you can remember the names and what they mean, then you're good to go. So mates is just 2 of a kind, that's just a pair. Peak is 3 of a kind. Dragon Claw is 4 of a kind. Double Trouble is 2 pairs. Den of Wolves is also what's known as a full house, which is 3 of a kind and a pair. YAR is 5 of a kind, so this gives you the most points in the game, and if you can get this, it's very, very, very good for your overall points and can sometimes guarantee you the win. Broken Arrow is a small straight of 4 cards, and the straight shot is 5 cards in a row. So with the game modes, essentially it's just like different difficulties going up in ranks all the way up to the very top one. So let's go through these and just quickly explain what they are. So the very first one is the very basic one. It's got just all of the cards, but it's got a very limited selection of hands. Now with this one here, it's a mode with only odd numbered hands. And the next one is only even numbered hands. This one has numbered hands, Double Trouble, Den of Wolves as well. And all of these so far are only 3 card draws. The next one is a mode that has low numbered hands, commits to hands of low numbered cards. The next one that we have is a mode with numbered hands, Broken Arrow, Straight Shot, and you got to commit to cards in sequence. The next one across is mode with single numbered hands, Chance will determine the victor. And the last mode has all the hands available. This is the one that I like the most because it has the most variety, but I definitely recommend that you guys try these out and just mix up, have a bit of variety. But overall, this is the game mode that I like the most because it has the most options and the most variety, and it can go either way depending on how lucky you guys get. So the last three modes as well also have 4-card draws. So that's something to pay attention to compared to the other 5, which only have 3-card draws. Alright guys, so when you want to invite someone to a game, you just select the game mode that you want to do, put in their family name, that's going to send them through an invite. This little book up the top right of the screen is going to start flashing on their screen that they have an invite to YAR, and they're going to be able to accept your invite, and that's going to automatically place you into the game screen. So all of the hands will appear on the left hand side, and these are all of the hands that we went through before, starting at bit of ones all the way down to chance at the very bottom. Now what you're going to do is it's going to ask you to pick a card. When you're playing this, guys, you do need to be careful and you do need to kind of make relatively quick decisions, because if you look down in the bottom left here above my name, it's got a countdown timer. You've got about 40 seconds per round, and that's for all 4 draws, all 4 card draws. So you do need to make relatively quick decisions. It's got your win rate underneath your name. As you can see, guys, King of the Hill, 42% win rate with my friend Hydrix is 57% win rate over here. And that's basically just for, just to fill your ego a little bit so you can, you can see your win rate there. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to draw the hand, and it's going to pull out 5 cards. So in this particular hand, what I've done is I've decided to lock my pair of 3s, and I think we're going to try and make a hand here with the 3s. Right, so we've re-rolled, and now we've got on the second draw, we've rolled another 3, so we can go ahead and we can lock that one. Roll it again. Nothing on the next roll. Now you can see here, this is a really good example of the different types of hands that you can make. So we've rolled the 3 3s, and then the last hand we've rolled 2 4s. This gives us a full house. Well, essentially it's a full house. In this game, it's called Den of Wolves. And you can see here on the left side where the names of the hands are, all the different kind of points that pull up. So if we were to go ahead and we were to put this one into a lump of 3s, we would get 9 points, because 3 3s is, a 3 is worth 3 points. So that's 3, 6, 9. And that would get a total of 9 out of the possible 15 points that we could get for a lump of 3s. If we put the 2 4s in there, we could only get 8 points because there's only 2 4s instead of 20 points for 5 4s. And let's see, we do have a pair of 4s, which would be the highest one there that we could put into mates, which would give us 8 points for the 2 4s. Then you would put in there, say, peak, which is 3 of a kind. So we've got our 3 3s there, which would give us 9 points. Now with double trouble is fixed points. So it doesn't matter if you've got a pair of aces and a pair of 2s, you're going to get 15 points regardless. So that's one of the hands where the value of the card doesn't come into it, because it's a fixed points for double trouble. Now coming down the bottom here to chance, remember that chance is based on the overall value of the cards. So chance here would give us 17 points because we've got the 2 4s, which is 8 points, and then another 9 points for the 3 3s. So that would give us 17 points. It's not really something that you would probably look at. When you're looking at chance, anything in the mid to high 20s is kind of what you want to be aiming for. But what we can do with this hand is we can go straight into the Den of Wolves, where we're going to get our fixed points of 25 for that full house, which is 3 of a kind and a pair. So now what it's going to do is it's going to go into the opponent's turn, and they're going to get to do their turn, and we're going to get to skip through this and see what they do at the end of their hand. So in this particular hand, my friend Hydrix here was trying to get 6s, as many 6s as possible. Didn't really work out that way. On the last roll, she did manage to roll an extra 2 3s. So what she would do with this hand is she's going to go ahead and put this one into double trouble and get the 15 points there for the 2 pairs. Now for the next hand that I have, we've rolled 3 aces straight away. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to lock 3 aces. Gonna roll it again. Remember, you're always just trying to make the best hand possible out of the situation. So on the second last roll, we managed to get a 4th ace, and we're gonna lock that one, and then nothing on the last roll, which we just got the 6 there. But taking a look at the points, we could go, we've got 4 of a kind, so we could go and put it into Dragon Claw. But remember, because the aces are only worth 1 point each, that would only give us a possible like 4 points out of all of the points that we could get for that, which is not really ideal. 10 points for the chance, not something really that we're interested in. 3 points for the 3 of a kind, 2 points for the 1 pair, and we're not going to go with stack of 6s because like we've got 1 6 here. 6 points out of the total available points there is not very good at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this hand into bit of 1s, and we're going to get 4 out of the possible 5 points for that hand. So every time you're doing this, remember, you're looking at what hands you have left to make the most amount of points from, and you're trying to obviously make the best hand. The strategy that I like to do is I like to try and chase 6s. So in this hand here, I'm trying to decide what I want to do. I've rolled 2 aces, but we've already got aces, so we don't really want to use them again. We do have a 3, a 5, and a 6. What I decided to do here was lock those 3 cards and try and roll for a straight. Remember, you can get a 4-card straight and a 5-card straight. It's heavily reliant on luck when you're doing this. And unfortunately, the next roll didn't go the way I wanted it to. So I decided to change up my strategy here because I rolled another 6 and a 5. So I decided to lock those cards. And that gives us our 2 pair for our 15 points on double trouble. So it's always good just to mix up your strategy and look at like what you can do to get the most points. Remember, trying to roll for specific hands brings more makes you more reliant on luck when you're doing this instead of what can you make at the time. All right, so now it's our turn again. We're going to roll the next hand. And what do we've got? We've got here 2 2s. Now we don't have any 2s yet marked down for points. So we're going to go ahead and lock our 2s. And look at that, guys. This is a situation that is very, very good. We've rolled we got super lucky here and we rolled 3 more 2s on the second roll. So what we can do is, we can put this down into a bunch of 2s and get 10 points here for the maximum amount of points for the 2s. But what's even harder to get is the YAR. And the YAR is 50 points. 50 points for all 5 cards the same. So you always want to be putting down the YAR points first. Because let's be real, if we can get another hand with only 4 2s, which is 8 out of 10 points, losing 2 points is a lot better than not being able to potentially roll another YAR and get that 50 points. So that's definitely how you want to be looking at this kind of strategy. You're always looking for what can you get the most amount of points for first. So on the next turn, guys, if we take a look at the cards that we've got here, we've got a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, and a 6 on the very first roll. And what we can do with this is we can go straight down to our straight shot and we can put this one in here for our 40 points. Very lucky when this happens, and you definitely want to take advantage of those points when you can. All right, so on to our next turn here. We've rolled 3 2s again. Remember, we gave up our 2s for the YAR on the last time we went for 2s. So let's try this again. We've rolled a 4th 2. Can we get a 5th one? And we end up getting a 5th one. So now because we've already got YAR, we can go ahead and put this one into a bunch of 2s to get the maximum amount of points for a bunch of 2s. All right, guys. So in this hand, now we've rolled a couple of 6s. We don't need the 2s because we already got 2s and there's only 1 4, so I'm not going to go with that. But we're going to try and make a lot of hands with the 6s. So when you're looking at 6s, 6s is definitely a hand that you want to be chasing more often because you can make many, many hands with the 6s. So you, for example, not only can you make the stack of 6s where you can get 5 6s and get the most points for that particular hand, but you've also got mates, which goes by points. So 2 6s will give you 12 points, which is the maximum amount of points you can get for mates. Then you've got peak, where you can get 3 6s, which is 18 points, the maximum points you can get for peak. And Dragon Claw, 4 6s, which gives you the maximum points of 24 points for Dragon Claw, which is 4 of a kind. On top of that, you can also chase YAR if you haven't already with the sixes. And chance is another hand that you want to be looking at if you've got a lot of sixes available too. So what we do in this hand is we're going to lock the sixes here. Then we're going to roll it again. We do end up getting another six. So we're going to lock that one. And can we get another one? We don't need the full house because we've already got Den of Wolves there with the 3 and the 2. Now, what I actually did here, guys, is I made a big mistake. Remember we said you always want to try and get the max amount of points here. Well, you don't want to go for the stack of sixes here because we do only have 3 out of potentially 5. So that's not something that we want to be looking at. We want to save that one for another turn. What we could do is we could put this one into peak because we got 3 sixes there, which is 3 of a kind. Peak is 3 of a kind, and that'll give us the maximum points of 18. What I ended up doing is I put it into mates for 2 of a kind, 2 sixes. My brain wasn't thinking, and I put it into the wrong hand. So always good just to use your brain a little bit, pay attention to what you can get the most amount of points for, and put it into that one, not like I did here. Okay, so on to our next hand. Now we've rolled 2 sixes again. So this is the one that we're going to be going for. We're going to try our luck with the sixes again. We're going to re-roll. Then we get another 2 sixes on the second roll. So we're going to lock those ones, and we're going to see how many points that we can get in total. And we end up rolling the 4 sixes. So instead of putting this one into stack of sixes again, we're going to go ahead and we're not going to put it into peak because remember, peak is 3 of a kind. We can only get 18 points for that. But we are going to put it into Dragon Claw because 4 sixes is the most amount of points you can get for Dragon Claw with 24 points. Okay, now we're going to skip through to our next turn and let's take a look at what we've got here. We've got a 2, a 5, and a 5. Now we don't have 5 yet, and we don't need aces. So we're going to go ahead and lock the 5s. We don't roll anything on the next draw. We do roll another 5 on the third draw, and on the fourth draw, we don't get anything. So we can go ahead and we can put this one into either peak or clump of 5s. We do go ahead and put it into peak. We get 15 out of the total 18 points we could have got for that hand, which was, it's okay. All right, guys, so in this next hand, we do end up with 2 sixes again, and we decide to lock them because there's still a couple of hands that we can make sixes with, and we don't actually get what we wanted to on the second roll. So what I decided to do was I looked at the cards available and I said, well, we've got a 5, a 2, a 3, and a 6. If we can roll a 4, that's going to give us our broken arrow, which is our 4 card straight. So we're going to try and roll for that. But then I'm undecided here. I don't know if I should go for it. It's very risky. We decide to go back on our decision. And we're going to lock the sixes again. And on the next draw, remember we're running out of time here. We ended up drawing 4 sixes total. We got a couple seconds left. We got to make our decision. And then we ended up putting the 4 sixes into the stack of sixes for 24 out of possible 30 points. So we did really well there. And that was very, very close. You guys have to really pay attention to the time that you're running out on because you can run out of time very easily on this. So just pay attention and you got to make those quick decisions, guys. So on to the next draw. We've rolled 3 aces, a 5, and a 2. Kind of a shitty draw for us because we don't need aces anymore. I think we ended up just locking the 5 here on this hand and then re-rolling the next one, trying to make the best possible hand here. So we got a 6 as well. But if you look at this, we also got a 3 and a 4. So 3, 4, 5, 6, guys. That gives us our 4 cards straight. So we can go ahead, claim our 30 points for Broken Arrow, and we can move on to the next hand. All right, so now we've got 3 5s straight away. Remember, we still need 5s. So let's see what we can do with the 5s here. Nothing on the next draw, and nothing on the next draw, and nothing. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to put our 3 5s into the clump of 5s, get our 15 points, and move on to the next hand. Unfortunately, it's just the way that it goes sometimes. You just get unlucky and you have to take a bit of an L, and you don't get the maximum value of points. But you just play the best that you can and pray that you get the best possible cards. So on this hand here, we don't really have a whole lot. We don't have 3s yet, and we still need 4s. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to lock the 3 and see if we can make a decent hand with the 3s. We ended up rolling 1 on the second draw, so we can lock that one as well. And nothing on the next draw for 3s. and nothing on the last draw for 3. So we're only going to get our 6 points in lump of 3s out of the possible like 15 points that we could get for that particular hand, the lump of 3s. All right, guys, so the next hand now, we need 4s and chance. This is the last one that we need. So we've got a 4 here. We ended up locking that one. We didn't get anything on the next draw. We got another 4 on the draw after that. And on the last draw, we got nothing. So we're going to take an L here, and we're going to claim 8 points out of, you know, the possible 20 points we could have got for the nest of 4s. Our last hand that we are drawing to is the chance. So we got to try and make the best possible hand on this last one. So here we go. Remember, we're aiming for 5s and 6s in this one. So let's go ahead. We've got a 5 here. Let's see how good of a hand we can make. We've got a 6. We're going to roll. We're going to lock that. We got 2 more 6s and an ace. Now, bit of a funny situation there. We had a 2. The only possible worst card that we could have got to make this hand worse was an ace. So that we lost 1 point. So we managed to go ahead and put this one into chance for 24 out of possible 30 points that we could have got for chance. So Hydrix is going to go ahead and finish up this hand here. And you guys can see we dominated this hand. Even if she gets the 24 points here, she can't win. So this is a really good way that you guys can see what kind of like strategy to use and how you can think about what hands you're playing. And essentially try to make the best decisions when you're making these hands. So guys, hopefully this video was helpful for you. I really hope that this helped you understand the game, understand the hands, and a little bit of strategy about how you can think about what kind of hands you're playing and how you want to use cards and manipulate cards to make better hands when you're playing the game. I really enjoyed making this video, and I really enjoy playing YAR, and I'm looking forward to playing some with you guys on stream. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about the video, and hope you have an amazing day. We'll see you in the next one.